Hello people, welcome back to the show. It's me, the Guna Tokes. Thanks for being here. And today is a special one because it's the weekend preview for the big Prem games coming up. We got some big games, we got some small games, we got some medium games, and we've got a lot of teams that need to win. So we're going to look at the table first, see who sits where, and then look at the biggest fixtures coming up, make some predictions about what I think is going to happen this weekend. And yeah, before I do that, you know what to do, people. Like, share, subscribe. Keep helping me grow the community. It's been brilliant. Whoever's subscribed recently and liked and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So keep it up, people. You're helping me grow. And we're on the road to 100. Getting there little by little. Anyway, back to the show, right? So, big weekend of Prem football. It's a big weekend every weekend, right? So I think a good place to start is to see where do people sit at this stage of the season, okay? So let's have a look at the league table here. We've got, obviously, Arsenal top. We've not been in good form recently. A couple of draws, a loss, obviously, to Villa last time. We are only a couple of points ahead of Manchester City. So it's a big weekend. We can't be dropping any more points, to be honest. We can't allow City to get anything more on us at this stage, because if we draw and they win, it's going to be level, right? So that's where things sit at the top of the table. Villa are third after that win against us. They're only 3 points behind, so it's looking tight at the top. Then there's a little bit of space. You got Palace in fourth, Chelsea in fifth, rounding out the top five there. Man United are sixth, man. How the heck did that happen? You have one weekend where you're sick, miss a lot of football, and before you know it, United are sixth. They're doing pretty well at the minute. Let's see if they can keep that up. Everton seventh. I said Everton are looking good at the moment, and they're going to be a challenge. So we'll see who's playing them this weekend and what's going to happen there. Brighton, Sunderland finish off the top 10 with Liverpool there just getting into 10th spot. So they're still a little way back. You know, Liverpool are only on 23 points. So they're 10 points behind us, right? Which is quite a lot at this stage of the season. But we're going to get into all of that pretty soon. If we look at the bottom half of the table, we've got Spurs just there. They're on the next page. You've got to turn page. You've got to scroll down to find Spurs. You know what I mean? So they're in 11th place, a point behind Liverpool. Newcastle 12th, Bournemouth 13th. What's happening to Bournemouth this season, you know? Brentford, Fulham, Leeds and Forest make out the rest of the teams outside the relegation zone. And then West Ham, Burnley and Wolves. Wolves firmly in the relegation zone at the moment. So that's where things look like at this stage of the season, to be honest. And it's a big weekend. Everybody kind of needs to get a win under their belt, especially the teams that are challenging at the top. And so, yeah, this is one of those ones where we better be ready. Like I said, we can't be dropping any more points to City. We can't let City catch up with us at all. So, yeah, that's where things are at this stage of the league campaign. Let's have a look at what the fixtures are, actually, and let's make a few predictions about what I think is going to happen. First of all, we get the Saturday fixtures, right? Let's see what's going on Saturday. It kicks off with Chelsea-Everton. Like I said, Everton are in a bit of good form at the minute. Chelsea, less so, you know. So I think that's going to be an interesting game. I think Chelsea will probably edge it at home, but Everton are looking good, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a draw there, actually. You know what? I'm going to go for a draw because Chelsea aren't good at keeping clean sheets, and so I think I'm going to go for 1-1 there between Chelsea and Everton. Big game for Liverpool playing Brighton, right? And that's going to be an interesting one to see what happens there. Liverpool need to get the win, obviously, and, you know, it's a pressure's on for Slot at the minute, but Liverpool playing Brighton. Brighton, like I said, they're not really, you know, pulling up sticks this season, but they're still ahead of Liverpool. So, you know, it's a mid-table clash there to see what happens. But I expect Liverpool, even though they've not been great recently, I expect them to get the win at home against Brighton, right? I'm going to go Liverpool to win that one 2-1. Burnley, Fulham. That's going to be another interesting one. Burnley are 19th. Fulham are 15th. 7 points between them. Fulham have been a little bit, up and down this season. A couple of good results here and a couple of bad results there. But I fancy Fulham to go to Burnley and get a win. I'm going to go for 1-0 win for Fulham there, to be honest. And then it's the big one, Arsenal Wolves. I'm going to be doing a separate preview for that. So join me for that. It'll be out a little bit later and I'll tell you exactly who I think is going to win. Obviously, probably us. But I'm going to give you my starting lineup, prediction, and all that lovely stuff. So don't worry about it. In terms of the Sunday fixtures, that's where things get a little bit busier, right? We got Palace City. Palace. Yo, this is a big one. Palace are playing at home. City are in great form at the moment. But if any team can do us a favour, it's going to be Palace. Palace are looking really good. They're 4th in the league. You know what I mean? And they're only, five points behind City. So it's going to be a tough game. I'm hoping at least a draw would be great. But I think it's going to be hard for Palace to keep City completely quiet, if I'm perfectly honest. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 there, last minute equaliser by Palace, I think. Forest, Spurs. Forest, they're again not having the best season. They're way down at the bottom, just outside the relegation zone. It's not going too well for Forest this season, to be honest. But Forest against Spurs, I've got to go for Forest, right? Forest 2-1, come on, do the Spurs lot, yeah? Sunderland, Newcastle. Tyneside derby, innit? That's going to be an interesting one. Sunderland looking good this season. Newcastle looking also good, even though they, sit where they do in the league in the bottom half of the table. I think that's a little bit of a false position for Newcastle, but that's going to be a cracker of a game. That's definitely one that I'm going to be watching on Sunday to see what happens. I think with Sunderland playing at home, I think they just edge it 2-1 though, so that's what I'm thinking. And, Chaka, I got to go for Sunderland. West Ham, Villa. I think Villa are going to smash West Ham, to be honest. I'm going for 3-1. I think Villa are going to comfortably win that one. And then Brentford, Leeds United. That's going to be another interesting one. Leeds sit 16th. Brentford sit 14th. Not a lot to choose between the teams. And so I'm going to go for a draw there. 1-1, I think, is going to be Brentford and Leeds. And then, rounding out the weekend and the Sunday fixtures is just the one. United having to play a lot of Monday fixtures because, they ain't got Europe. So over you go to Monday, innit? And Manchester United in good form at the moment, to be fair. Playing Bournemouth, who aren't having the best season, and they keep losing players, Bournemouth, every summer and having to re-up the team every time. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy. And Iraola, to be fair, has done a really good job overall with Bournemouth. But, I think it's a bridge too far, really, in terms of keep regenning the team when you're losing your best players all the time. It ain't easy. Do you know what I mean? I think United will probably win that. They're in good form. I think United win that 2-0, if I'm perfectly honest. They finally got a rhythm going, and he looks like more and more he looks like he knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So those are my predictions for the Premier League this season. Like I said, I'm going to be getting in this weekend. Like I said, I'm going to be getting into the Arsenal-Wolves game in a lot more detail later. But overall, this weekend, what I'm looking for most of all is for City to drop points against Palace. Please, Palace, come on, y'all can do it. Do it for your boy Eze. Repay the guy, do you know what I mean? So that's the big fixture that's on this weekend that I'm really watching. Hopefully Villa can drop a few points as well, but I doubt that's going to happen. And it's up to us to get, things back to winning ways in terms of the league against Wolves. But like I said, I'm going to be doing a video for that a little bit later on. So don't miss that. It'll be out in a couple of hours. And yeah, that's what I think about the weekend fixtures for the Premier League. Why don't you let me know what you think? At the end of the day, it's about ticking, keeping things ticking over and picking up the points. But like I said, I hope City drop points. That's the big one I'm looking to, and maybe Villa too. All right. So don't forget to check out my video later, which is going to be about the Arsenal-Wolves game. And hey, Have a fantastic day, people. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, grow the community with me. And yeah, peace. Bye.